Hey, this is 2552 coming back at you with another video, and today I'll be doing a very special review on a specific diecast that honors a specific person, and of course it is a Hot Wheels diecast. And if you may or may not know who I'm talking about, well, I'll describe it later on in the video. But it is this. This is the Hot Wheels Red Light Club exclusive 1994 NSX that belonged to Ryu Asada. Now, of course, as a Hot Wheels fanatic, I know who Ryu Asada is, as he was a former designer for the Hot Wheels diecast. And of course, if you don't know who he is, like I said, he is a designer, or a former designer at Mattel for Hot Wheels specifically. And yeah, he actually owned a 1994 NSX in real life, and this one actually has a party feature because it's not like a standard RLC car that doesn't come in a blister. This one would be able to take it out of the box, and yeah, it has some other cool stuff. So just giving you a look around the box here. Of course, Mattel Creations exclusive, which was online, and a Hot Wheels logo on top. Let's open up the flaps on this thing, as it's pretty simple here. You just open up the top here, and inside comes in a little box that kind of resembles an oil can, which is pretty fun. Of course, it has Ryu's Rides logos on top and everywhere. Now, if you were a collector during the main line, I believe 2021, you might have seen that logo pop up in a bunch of basics. And of course, there is a specific reason for that. That just means that Ryu Asada designed that car. And they just put his logo just to kind of honor him and just say, yep, he designed this one. Of course, the Red Light Club logo on there. Nothing much else to speak of. It's actually a sleeve here, so you just pull out the sleeve, and there is your diecast. And looking very cool here, as you might have noticed. Let me zoom in instead of bringing it up, because this is a very special one, and the first release of this specific NSX, because Hot Wheels used to make it, or they still make it actually, the 1990 NSX, but this is actually 94, and it's actually like the stock version. So, you know, it actually has pop-up headlights here and such. We'll take a look at that very soon. Of course, Ryu's 1994 NSX. Take a look at the back here. You'll be able to read that if you'd like. I would like to, but it's just a little too long. But yeah, and also there is the photo of Mr. Ryu Asada himself and the NSX he used to own, which is actually a Suzuka Circuit pace car, and it's actually officially licensed by Suzuka Circuit. It's actually, what I found out, it's actually not the real pace car. It's actually a replica, but even then, even for a replica, this is honestly really great. Now, to remove this from the box, on the bottom, it's actually not screwed on the car itself, so you kind of want to be careful if you get one of these. So it has the little plastic flaps here. Just opened up one of each corner there. They got a lot of legal mumbo jumbo. So it'll stand up there, and there's like some little slits and such that it has to go to. You just pull it out. It has a little plastic insert so you can keep the car nice and so it wouldn't move. And there is the car in the open light. Let me bring down the lighting just a little bit. It looks great just like this, but of course we have to take a look at the other stuff that's on here. Let me put the car aside. So you have the little International Racing Course Suzuka Circuit logo on the base of where the car would be. The little inserts for the tire to go, and like I mentioned, it's not held by anything, so you'd want to be careful. Or maybe it is, because I did buy this used, because I did not buy it originally when it first came out, which I don't know why, but again, I didn't pay too much, so I don't mind. I actually forgot to include a thing, because I did open this up before just to take a look at it, and it does come with a little user sheet. And it tells you about charging and such, because yeah, we're gonna look at that. Of course, there's a bunch of legal stuff, and it actually does come with its charger to charge up the car. You might be wondering, why the heck would I be charging up my car for? Well, the reason you want to be charging it up is it's just for the car to do this. And the reason you want to charge up your car is because you want it to do this. That's right. Working headlights and tail lights. Let me zoom in on this right here. This is the most I could do, unfortunately. It has actual working tail lights and headlights from its pop-up headlights. So that's awesome. And another thing, since it's a pace car or safety car, yep, actual amber lights on the top, which is insane. This is so cool. This might be one of the quirkiest, one of the coolest Hot Wheels that Hot Wheels ever produced. I'm just gonna say right now, because it has working lights and such. I'm not saying that there isn't any that have working lights, but this one's honestly probably gonna be the coolest one because it's a safety car, and people would call it a police car, but it's obviously a safety car for Suzuka circuits. So for like diorama collectors, you're probably going to want this, or for stop motion makers who want an actual pace car, this is definitely one right here. This is awesome. And just like I said, it's just a very touching tribute to the late Ryu Asada, who unfortunately lost back in 2021 to cancer. And like I said, he used to own this car in real life, and he actually did make it. He didn't design this one specifically, as we're going out of focus. He didn't design this one specifically since this was after his passing. But he designed this one, the 1990 Acura NSX, and it looks very similar to the new release one with the same livery and such. The only difference being on the side it says Ryu Circuit and has his actual Ryu Ride logo, his own design track, and the R on the front is the same, but it says Ryu Circuit. But of course this was a basic, and there was also a recolor in white, which I never found. This one's actually attached to an actual NSX key, so yeah, I just need to find the key, and apparently it's a red NSX, so it kind of goes well here. The NSX to me is actually a dream car of mine. I really love this car. I respect the history of it, and it's just a beautiful car all around. This is kind of the one that helped Honda be more involved in the racing, more than they already did. Especially with the Alex Zanardi edition, the Ayrton Senna edition of this car, and it's just so cool. It's amazing. And the fact that this is just the original NSX, the NSX-R is the popular one too, but any NSX, like Acura, Honda, I just love them. So yeah, if you might have noticed, it actually turned off by itself, because I think, it has like an automatic turn off switch, so yeah. Kind of have to do that. That's so cool. Look at that. This is so cool. Like, pace car lights, I'm a racing fan, and whenever I have the chance to get pace cars, I buy them because they're cool. And I don't have a diorama, but if I did, I would absolutely have it in the front of a pack, like NASCAR or IndyCar. This absolutely would be the one. If I had to make a diorama, this one would absolutely be at the front, just because it's so cool. It has working lights and such. It's so cool. Now, to actually turn off the headlights, I'll tell you the sequences here. So to turn on the headlights, first off, you'd have to go on the base here, and yeah, of course, let's take a look at the base here. Metal. But where you charge it is right here, and it uses a micro USB that it actually does come included in the box. And there's actually a little switch here, so there's a little O and a 1, or like the little line. To turn it on or to leave it off so no one will turn off, just put it on the O setting, so when you press it, nothing happens. So you'd want to switch it back to the O or the line there, and yeah, it should turn on there. And there is a sequence to actually how to turn on and turn off this car, so let's see if we can focus on there. Where you turn on the lights is the rear spoiler. So right here, there's like a little insert that may look like it can open up, but no, it's actually just your button. So where the spoiler is, you press it once, tail lights and headlights would turn on by itself only. Press it again, they stay on, and then you get the pace car lights on top. Press it one more time, and you go back to just headlights and tail lights, and then you press it one more time to completely turn off. So that is how the sequence goes, how to turn on this car, or the lights. But of course you don't want to have it charge, and when it's charging, it would have like blinking lights, like it would just like fade in and fade out like that. And then once it's fully charged, I think it just shuts off, or either or that, or I believe it just stays on like the lights, and that pretty much tells you that, yep, it's charged, fully charged. So yeah. But anywho, let's take a look at the finer details of this car, because for it being an RLC, you might think it's a premium model, which, I wouldn't blame you, because there's no spectral flame, but it honestly doesn't need it, because it's supposed to be an actual replica of Ryu Asada's replica pace car. So that's pretty funny. So let's start off on the hood here. You got the International Racing Course Suzuka Circuit logo with the big R on the front, very distinctive. And this is actually a Honda NSX. Now, I'm not sure, I think they were still able to import them, but I wouldn't be surprised if it was a rebatched Acura with just the Honda logo, but that's fine. They're the same car anyways. So we got the pop-up headlights there with a little plastic piece inside that makes the lights turn on. We got paintwork application for the reflectors and the grille and some openings on the sides. We have Advan on the sides, on the bottom bumper. This thing really hates the focus here. Advan on there. You got a little Castro logo on the front of the fender and deflector. Has Real Rider tires that are, I don't know what specific wheels these are called. They look kind of similar to the ones that were on the car, but they're actually completely different on the real car. As the base, it actually is not riveted in. It only has one triangle screw, so you can access if you need to fix it, but hopefully you shouldn't. And of course, it has the International Racing Course Suzuka Circuit text, along with a diagram, a track layout of Suzuka Circuit itself in Japan, where the Suzuka Circuit is located in Japan. You might recognize it for F1, as they hold the Japanese Grand Prix there. But I just recognize it more because of NASCAR as well, because they used to run the Suzuka Thunder Special in Japan for 2 years. We got actually a little, I thought this was like a little air, but it's actually a keyhole decal there, and it's actually on the other side too. And of course everything's going to be on the same. And on the rear we have Advan and another one, the reflector on there. The rear we have a Honda badge, the plastic light inserts, since of course this lights up, and it has a license plate, and it's actually a California plate. Let's see if we can read what that says. It says it expires in December, California. I can't really tell what year that is. Give me a second. I don't think I can even see that. Even with this camera, you can't really tell what year this thing expired, or the plates expired on this one. And it actually has the number. Man, I really have to stop shaking a lot. So we have 7LFU720. Now, I'm not sure if that's actually the actual plate number this was, but that's a little interesting if it is. I guess if they really want to make it a replica, might as well just make it the actual license plate, right? With all of its car's information and such. That's interesting. We got the exhaust pieces on there, which actually do go under and are painted. And that's pretty much it. It's just a simple red pace car with some logos here and there, and that's it. But of course, the main party feature is, of course, the headlights and taillights and the pace car lights, which I just love. Let me turn off the light here just to kind of make it look like a little darker. Now, of course, it is daytime, so let me bring down the lighting a little bit, so you will still be able to see some light. But yeah, and it does light up pretty well. Even in dark, it actually lights up a lot. And yeah, that's awesome right there. That's so cool. This is probably, like I said, one of the coolest and quirkiest cars Hot Wheels has ever made. And thankfully, this isn't the only one they're gonna make for the NSX, or have made, as they have made a blue one. It's just the Spectra Flame Blue, but it does not have pace car lights. It just has the headlights and taillights. Hopefully this means they'll be able to do it for other models as well in RLC. That would be awesome if they could do another pace car. That'd be so cool. I would absolutely buy that one. But yeah, then once again, just a touch and tribute to the one and only Ryu Asada, who designed many cool cars that we all love to collect, and his legacy and work will absolutely never be forgotten. This is just just really cool. It's just to immortalize his personal and probably his favorite car he'd ever own into Hot Wheels for all of us to collect. So before that, I think might as well just do like a little pace car setting and put some cars on the back of this thing. So just give me a second while I grab some. Okay, so I just grabbed some NASCAR diecast I had here, and my goodness, this actually looks so cool. Let me move the camera just around, just to kind of show y'all how insane this looks. Now, of course, this is not really the racing series that Suzuka holds anymore. Hopefully they do at some point, as I just realized there's actually 288 cars on the rear. But we'll just ignore that. This is awesome, just to have a little pace car diorama here. Um, yeah, this is so cool. Look at that. I wish I had a diorama just to have like a bunch of cars on display and just have the pace car with the lights on and such. This is absolutely epic as a racing fan, just to have a little safety car like this that actually works. Yeah, so I just wanted to make that little quick thing there. But yeah, that has been the review of the ever-touching tribute of Ryu Asada's 1994 NSX, as the lights just turned off again, from the Hot Wheels Redline Club. So if you enjoyed the video, give it a like, subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Peace.